Welcome to Middle Harbor Shoreline Park here in West Oakland. My name's Stacy. I'm a naturalist with Stepping Out, Stepping In, and today we're going to explore the marvelous creatures of the tidal mudflat. So let's step outside and step into relationship with nature. Come on! Wow, there's so many shorebirds right now on the tidal mudflat. I love sharing the wonders of nature with students here at Middle Harbor because even though this park is in the middle of Oakland and part of the Port of Oakland, it's an abundant place for wildlife as well as people. So today we're going to explore this tidal mudflat and see all the different creatures that live here and how they're connected in a healthy web of life. This big body of water you see behind me is San Francisco Bay, the largest estuary on the west coast of North America. An estuary is a partially enclosed body of water where one or more rivers flow into salt water. So here we have the Sacramento and San Joaquin rivers that flow into the water of the Pacific Ocean, which is entering the bay through the Golden Gate. As naturalists, that's you and me observing nature. One of the fun ways we can learn about an ecosystem is to draw a food web of some of the interacting organisms in the environment. Well, where do we start with our mudflat food web? Where does all life begin? Well, all life begins with energy from the sun. Trees and plants and seaweed receive that energy and through the process of photosynthesis turn it into chemicals and nutrients that they can use. On a tidal mudflat, pieces of plants and seaweed float in and out on the tide and provide food for other creatures. So that's part of the foundation of our mudflat ecosystem is this plant detritus. So in addition to plant materials that float down from land and seaweed, we have some algae that's living on the mud that also photosynthesizes. And in addition to that, if you look out at the very edge of the water, you can see a little golden hue, which is a type of algae called phytoplankton. It floats on the water, and then at low tide it gets left on top of the sand, and while it's exposed, it photosynthesizes as well. Even though seaweed and algae doesn't sound like food to us, it provides nutrition to thousands of creatures on the mudflat, and these creatures are invertebrates, animals that have no backbone. Invertebrates that we have on the mudflat here include crabs, worms, snails, and other critters. So we're going to get a few invertebrates onto our food web drawing. Just making a little crab, maybe a worm here, and a snail. Another invertebrate we have here on the mudflat are barnacles, a creature that spends almost its whole life anchored to the rocks here. As you can see, the tide is on its way in, and once this rock is covered in water, the barnacle sends out its filter-feeding arm to grab and filter plankton and other things in the water to eat. So what eats those invertebrates? Yep, birds. We have so many different kinds of birds here in the mudflat, from tiny least sandpipers, only 6 inches long, to long-billed curlews that use their very long beaks to sweep in the water for food, to gulls, pelicans, terns, and much more. As you can see, the mudflat is healthy and teeming with life. And the last layer of our food web that we're going to talk about are the predators that eat the birds when they can catch them. And here at Middle Harbor Shoreline Park, that includes foxes, peregrine falcons, raccoons, and even opossums. Apart from being an abundant ecosystem for a variety of wildlife,
Do tidal mudflats have any benefits for humans? Well, we eat clams and crabs and other critters that live in the mudflat, so that's one thing. Also, mudflats are a buffer against waves and erosion on land. And my favorite benefit of mudflats for people is that it's a way to connect with nature. Time out observing wildlife and getting to know our local natural environments can bring a sense of peace and satisfaction. Thank you so much for joining me on the Mudflat today. Continue watching for more about the food web drawing activity and how you can send us a photo of your food web.